This is the Radiomaster MT12 brand new controller coming out on the scene, and in this video I'm going to tell you why you need to care that this exists and why you might be interested in picking one of them up. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Troy. This is Roadside RC. You'll tend to find me crawling or bashing or drifting or racing, plus doing product review videos and how-tos. And I'll be honest, when I first saw this MT12, I was like, okay, kind of looks like a fancy, you know, like maybe slightly older model Futaba or something along those lines. I'm like, is it really worth picking up, and is it really worth doing a test on? I'm really not too sure, but as I started looking at the information that was available on it, there's some stuff in this radio that makes it to where you really need to care about this, and you need to really keep your eye on Radiomaster if you're in the RC surface world, especially for racing, especially doing maybe drifting, speed runs. This might be something that you really need to watch, and here's why.
Welcome to Edge TX.
That Edge TX right there that you saw as it opened up is an open source programming system. Think about some of the computer programs that you know that are open source, where the whole community and the whole world can come together and can help tweak software and help make it better and help add new features and all that. That's what Radiomaster has put in here. And Radiomaster's not new to this whole RC world. They've been in drones for years. What they've done is they've loaded the Express LRS radio system in here. Express LRS is what all the drone guys are really excited about for low latency, which means really fast connection speed back and forth between the radio and the vehicle, and ability to, like, you know, get really good connection. This radio claims, and we're going to test it, 1 kilometer of connection. That's 3,000, that's just shy of 3,300 feet. Speedrun guys, out of the box, that's what it claims. But there is a little bit more to it. If you run a different module on your radio, like a Crossfire system or something like that, you can pop this little plug off, you can plug this module right there back into it, and it is a module bay so that you can put some of your other connection systems right onto it, included in the box. And Radiomaster did not skimp on the inputs at all. You have 5 trim buttons around the side. You have 2 different knob settings, rotary buttons there. You have a switch right here on the side. You have a trim up and down right there. You even have a bump button right here, which is very popular with a lot of racers, especially nitro folks. You set up a timer on the controller itself, and when you need to reset the timer, like let's say refueling during a race, you can just bump it and it resets the timer. All of these things are programmable. Absolutely all of them. There's even a freaking button up under here. I don't even know how I would hit that, but there's actually a button even all the way up underneath that. And if those like 10 inputs actually aren't even enough for you, this little door right here, it actually comes off, and you can either put on 2 more toggle switches that literally slides in and plugs in, or there's a 4-way switch, like a little frickin' dongle-y knobby thing that you can put in there and then program with the controller to make it do whatever you want to do. It's frickin' crazy. Like all the buttons that you could possibly want. It is very surprising. Everything is in here. Inside here, you do need to provide 2 18650 batteries or run your own little rechargeable battery. Plugs right in here, but you can actually power it that way. Once you have the batteries in, it can actually be recharged via the USB-C here on the back. If you've noticed, it actually has, I have it set to red LEDs all around the side. It actually is fully programmable, multiple colors. And here's the really cool thing about it. You could actually make the colors mean something. So you can program in the controller to where, let's say voltage is starting to drop and you need to replace the batteries, it flashes. You can hook up telemetry to this, so all of the different telemetry features, maybe something happens, whether it's car battery voltage, whether it's a timer, whether it is a distant signal out of range, it can change colors based on how you have it programmed. So you can do absolutely anything in here with it. But it's got other features that you normally will see on higher end radios. You have all of the different adjustments down here where you can actually adjust the distance of the trigger. You can also adjust the tension within the trigger itself, all to change your feel. Underneath this cover, you have a whole nother set of inputs where you can actually plug it into the computer. I actually have not tried, but I wonder if the Virtual RC, the VRC Pro software, I wonder if it actually connects into it. I bet it probably does. The user interface is actually quite nice, especially for me. Nice big buttons. You can come into the model select button, and then you can hook up different models. And let's be clear here, how many different models do you want? That's 30, that's 40, 50, yeah, 60 different models that it will select. I don't know if I'm ever going to have 60 RC cars all at one time. You can come in here. This is basic setups if you're going to put timer, if you're going to put trims in it, this kind of thing. You can control the different inputs from the different switches. You can mix things together, so if you need to go in tank mode, or if you need to have other reasons why you're going to have your channels switched, you can do that. Maybe for four-wheel steering, that would be done in here. You can set up different curves for the different channels as far as the inputs go. You have some different switches. Here's where you change special functions. So again, like right now I have the lights on. If you come in over here, you can set it to where all the different switches that are around the whole controller can set up and do special functions. You can put it into like a trainer mode, so you can flip a switch and you can put it into a trainer mode. So if you're going to hand a controller off to like a kid, then you can make it do stuff in trainer mode. You have a whole screen here for setting up your telemetry. Depending on the receiver you get and how you connect in the telemetry, you can have up to, I think that said 16 sensors or something like that running on it. You can change what the display shows on a regular basis. And then under the system setup here, you can get into right here, we have the transmitter power. We can actually change to 250 megawatts max power. If you do increase that power, you of course are going to use more battery life, but of course it's also going to give you more range. And then do you notice this? This is it has video games on here. We have frickin' Pong. So here, look, you can load it up. Can you see that on the screen? And it puts the trigger over here is controlling the one on this side. Oh, can I win it? Can I win it? Can I win it? Oh, it's going to come back to me. And beyond the controller itself, you have the spare inputs that come with it. You can get receivers that come with it. Nice little lanyard that clips on here to the back, leather lanyard. You have the charge cable USB to USB-C that can charge the 18650s once you have them in there. You get some stickers, you get a quick start guide, and of course you get the handy dandy travel carrying case with it. I'm putting this radio system into the Red Cat Lightning Drift here just for a quick test. I did find that the receiver and the controller were not bound from the factory. So what you have to do, and it's not too complicated, but it is a little bit finicky. So with the radio off, so you have to turn the radio off, and I had to plug in only the ESC. If I had the servo plugged in as well, then I could not get the receiver into bind mode. So I plugged in only the ESC. You have to power on and off the power 3 times until this little red LED gives you a double blink. Blink, blink, and then a pause, blink, blink, and then a pause. If you don't get that blink, blink, then it's not in bind mode, and it refused to go into that bind mode with the servo plugged in. So that's good for you to know. You then power the radio on, and then over here in the systems, under the Express LRS, once it loads, you can come down here and there's simply a bind. You press in on this switch and it starts the bind process. Works really, really easy. Now everything works. Now, maybe I've just not had enough coffee here today, but I did notice something as I was plugging everything in, that in order to get steering to work, I had to put steering into channel 2, which is usually it's 1 for turn, 2 for burn, right? So normally steering is channel 1, but they actually have it set up, just so you know, as a baseline of steering is channel 2. That may get you confused. And then they have throttle as channel 1. What also to notice, so if you're over here under model, if you go to page 7 of outputs, this is where you can reverse your channels. So as an example, I need to reverse my steering because right goes left and left goes right. So I'm going to come down to channel 2 because that's where steering is. You can edit it. And then direction is just in burst like that. And now right is right, left is left. This is also the same location where you can set your endpoints. So right above direction is max and min. So if I take that min direction way down, Right still goes, left it does not. So that is where you can actually set your endpoints or your channel endpoints. And you can do it for every single channel that you can set up on this controller. We're going to do a fun range test. So I have this brand new Radiomaster hooked up to this car right here. I have a Spectrum controller hooked up to a Typhon. And I have my Futaba hooked up to my drift car. I'm going to have my kids here with a cell phone. I'm going to get in my car and start driving. I'm going to stop at certain distances and I'm going to wiggle the steering. We're going to see which one of these controllers actually has the farthest range. All right, I'm driving down the driveway. So we're not that far. So right now I am at the end of the driveway. So first is Futaba on the drift car.
It's still working.
Still works. All right, Spectrum on the Typhon.
It works.
And then fancy Radiomaster.
It works.
Okay. I'm going to turn right. We're going to head down towards the end of the street. I think I'm going all the way to the stop sign.
All the way to the stop sign.
I think I'm going all the way to the stop sign. So this is going to be as far as we ever do speed runs.
Yeah.
And we're usually standing at the end of our driveway. We're not in the garage when we do it.
You should go up the hill then.
Oh, I just heard one of them. One of them just told me, Radiomaster told me telemetry's lost. Does Radiomaster works, but it says telemetry lost. Interesting. Okay, Spectrum on the Typhon?
Nothing.
Nothing. So Spectrum's already dead. What about the Futaba? Drift car.
Nothing.
Drift car's dead. Okay, so wow. We've already proven it. I'm not even that far away. Futaba's gone, Spectrum's gone. It says RS signal low, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pick it up, I'm going to turn its antenna now. I'm going to turn left. I'm going to head towards the hill. I'm just going to wiggle its steering while I drive. Tell me if it stops wiggling.
So good.
It says RS signal critical. I can actually hear the servo wiggling in the background. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
RS signal critical. Still saying. I'm now going up the hill.
Oh, it's not.
No, just a second. That was me. I dropped the controller. You're still controlling.
It's still controlling.
I'm almost at the top of the hill. Oh, that's crazy. This is farther than our drones go. Telemetry lost again. I'm trying to keep the controller pointed at the car.
Oh,
Yep, finally dead.
no, try it. It's still going.
It's still going a little. Oh my gosh! I'm literally driving all the way down this road at where the fancy houses are.
Oh, wait, it stopped.
Finally stopped. Okay. Wow. All right, I'm coming back. Folks, it's seriously crazy. Like, that radio controlled, I mean, 3 times the distance of the Futaba and the Spectrum. And now I just realized that I never actually turned the radio antenna up on the Futaba and some stuff like that. So maybe the Futaba would have lasted a little bit longer. But honestly, where we stopped at first at the end of the street, that's almost out of eyesight. And this thing just kept going and kept going and kept going. I'm gonna have to try to get on Google Maps and see if I can figure out what the actual distance of this really was, as the crow flies, direct distance. Oh, just dropped it off the. That's probably good for it, right? To drop off the center console of the car. But dang, that was absolutely crazy. I cannot believe how far this controller just connected. I just checked on Google Maps, and if I draw a line between where I am standing right now, where the vehicle was, and where I ended up, 0.6 miles. 0.6, over half a mile away, and this controller was still connecting it. Are you listening to that speedrun, guys? Speedrun folks out there, are you hearing that? You could literally, straight out of the box, this controller as is, and you can get over a half mile away. I can't see the freaking car that far, but if you're doing speedrun stuff and long distance control is very, very important, Dude, you need to check out this MT12. Quick recap of what we know so far. Really good range, really low latency due to that drone technology ELRS that's in it. The OpenTX, that means that everybody in the community can get together and continue to modify and upgrade the software in this, and continue to build it out to something even better and crazier. Rechargeable batteries that are in it. Programmable out the wazoo. Like, you can do absolutely anything you want to program this controller and control different things. So if you're a tank driving person, I'm thinking like BattleBots kind of folks. If you follow the channel, you know that we're big passionate about BattleBots and we have some of our own creations. Easily mixable controls there, easy to set up for everything. When I watch that and I see the different controllers they're using, I think this is a better bet for most people, this MT12. Radiomaster's really hit it out of the park. And now here's the kicker. Here's the absolute kicker about it. What this thing can do is on the level of like a Futaba 7PR, the new Radiolink RC8X. Like, those are $250, $500 controllers. This thing, brand new, $129.99. Now, that does not come with the 18650 cells, so you're going to be in at another, what, $20 or something like that to put a couple 18650s in there. So, like, under $150, and you've got a very, very nice control. So for you racers out there, for you drift guys, I'm going to do a whole separate video on how to set this up in a drift car. So for the racers, for the drifters, for the speed runners, I think this is a very, very solid choice. So I'm going to leave a link to it down in the video description. Please go check it out. Radiolink has some really cool information and some really good graphics and some information and everything on their own website about some of the other technology that I can't even figure out what to do. I'm going to leave a link down in the video description to Radiomaster's own website where you can then go and check out like the individual details. They have a lot of good videos and a lot of good information where they explain even a lot more of the technology that's in this that I haven't even spent the time to talk about in this video. And speaking of technology, that does bring me to the one point that I do have the only slight kind of concern that I have with this controller. And that is the slight complication of it. You know, I'll give you the simple example. I plugged it into that Red Cat vehicle. Steering was backwards. On a lot of controllers, there's just a little switch on the side and it says steering, reverse, beep, done, right? This is not that case. I had to go through a couple different menus and I had to go in and I had to find the channel and then I had to inverse the channel. So you can do that and you can do much more than you'd ever want to do. But I think for a lot of folks, it might be slightly too complicated. And so that is the only criticism, that's the only critique that I have of this controller at all, is that it can be slightly complicated. And if you're not used to some of the drone menus and some of that kind of stuff that's already out there and kind of how they're laid out, there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve. But I think for most people, at $130, $150 with some batteries in it, it's a really, really, really solid choice. So please go check it out. I have more videos coming on this controller where I'm going to do a couple more things with it. So stay tuned for those and we will see you in the next video. Thank you and goodbye.